Hello, it's time for the Good Shepherd lesson for this week. This will be our last one that we have for this school year. I hope you have a great summer and you have a lot of fun playing and swimming and doing all those things. But today, the first thing I'm going to do is ask you some questions, and let's see if you can figure out who this character is. Okay, so here's the first clue. It's someone who works outdoors. Next clue. It is someone who is very concerned about taking care of something. The next one, let's see if you can figure out who it is. I sometimes have to fight off wild animals or thieves. Wonder who it could be. It's someone who is very watchful. It's someone who protects things that are young, and it's something that searches for things that are lost. Next clue, it's someone who says something, their voice is something that causes others to follow. This is somebody who searches for really good pasture with good places to eat and good clean water. It's someone who the angels announced the birth of the baby Jesus to. Do you have it? I hope you have it. Well, if you guessed it was a shepherd, then you're right. So today we're going to talk again about the Good Shepherd. This is something you're really familiar with. And so here is our Good Shepherd and our sheep that we have from the Good Shepherd atrium. But we're going to be talking about a new character today. We're going to talk about the wolf, right? So Mrs. Grotigut is going to read us a short story. She videotaped her son with some of their sheep. And then afterwards we'll talk about it a little bit.
Video.
The gatekeeper opens it for him, and the sheep hear his voice as he calls his own sheep by name and leads them out. When he has driven out all his own, he walks ahead of them, and the sheep follow him because they recognize his voice. But they will not follow a stranger. They will run away from him because they do not recognize the voice of strangers.
Let's talk a little bit about that scripture that we just heard. So here are our sheep and our shepherd, and here's our wolf to the side. Now, let's talk about this. This is called a sheepfold. It's the fence that goes around. And the one in the story, a shepherd would have built kind of a taller fence than this probably. And sometimes they would put like thorns and things around the top because they didn't want the wolf to jump over the top and get to the sheep. And the shepherd would stand right here. And typically at night, they would even sit down and they would guard this entrance into the sheepfold so that the sheep would be protected all night long. Now, the shepherd would get up in the morning and they would call their sheep by name. And so they would stay very safe, and the wolf or the thieves wouldn't be able to get in. So what does this all mean to us? Why would Jesus have told us this parable about the Good Shepherd? Well, Jesus is just like the Good Shepherd. He loves his sheep just like the Good Shepherd loves his sheep. He probably gets in there and walks around amongst them and talks to them, calls them by name. He makes sure that they have a great place to eat, fresh and clean water. Just like Jesus gives us a great place to go to church and great parents to be around us. And Jesus protects us, just like the Good Shepherd protects his sheep. Jesus protects us by telling us his stories and his parables and showing us how to live. And then, of course, Jesus is like the Good Shepherd because the Good Shepherd would give up his life for his sheep. He would do anything for them. And Jesus is just exactly the same. He gave up his life for us just like we just celebrated at Easter. So let's always remember how much Jesus, the Good Shepherd, loves us and how he considers us as his sheep. And he's there to lead us and guide us always.